What is the fascination with wrestling?
What?
Why?
What fascination with wrestling?
Not for you, but just in the general. There's a lot of. Do you realize how many people love wrestling?
You're asking why are people interested in wrestling?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand why you'd ask that question.
Do you got anything to add to that?
I don't want to offend anybody here, but if you like wrestling, you're dumb. No, I'm just. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but. Luckily, there's way more entertaining stuff out there.
Well, look, here's how the conversation goes about wrestling, all right? The fans acknowledge that it's fake. Right?
Yeah, I know.
They do. So
I know.
But then they'll be like speculating on Twitter as to what's going to happen and like what the fate of these characters are going to be.
And it's already been determined.
And yeah, I'm just like, y'all know it's a show, right? Like, you know.
But, I mean, it feeds into that same thing that's happened with reality television, right? Everybody loves their reality TV. It's all scripted. It's really no different. So, I mean, I can't harp on people.
Well, the thing is...
Wrestling's just been around longer.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. This is what people, like, retort or, like, try and argue. They're like, well, do you like... fictional television and TV shows and movies and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, that's already predetermined, but you get to watch it live happen. And I'm like, yeah, but like, we don't like, it's not the same really though. Like it's,
is that it? They've really boiled sport down to just telling a story.
I mean,
holy cow. That's insightful, Gabe.
Dude. Right. It's
insightful. I'm still not interested in wrestling, but suddenly now it makes a little bit more sense.
Do you think all sports are rigged?
I think there's probably more rigged sports than we're aware of.
I think football's rigged.
I'm starting to wonder myself. That's why I've kind of gotten away from NFL.
I can't really like watch it anymore. Like the past couple years, especially for the simple fact that like you have all these teams going to do stuff, and whenever COVID was like running rampant. And, I mean, it is now still, like, just the handicap and shift in difference, like certain players being treated differently or certain teams being treated differently than other teams, Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, well, we have a game schedule, but 10 of your core players have COVID. It's like, you got to play with them, I don't know. That just seems bonkers. And then, like,
it just doesn't feel like you can have a sport that generates that much cash and there not be some behind-the-scenes manipulation happening. And certain people being afforded more leeway than others,
It's, I mean, why has Tom Brady gone to the Super Bowl like 50 times or something? You know what I mean? Like,
that's just mind-boggling.
I mean, I don't care how good he is.
Conspiracy theory or not, that's just, wow. How has that happened?
I don't know. I mean, 50 times is a lot.
Would be for anybody. Yeah.
All right.
True.
That's my cold open for you this eve, ladies and gentlemen.
It made me think.
You're welcome.
Cold open.
I am literally on another level. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
We've always known that, Gabe.
I'm on another spectrum.
You're definitely on a spectrum.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're offended, get out. For real though. Welcome to Punch Counterpunch, the show where we cover the belated news of yesteryear in wannabe fashion. It is 2022. This is the first show of 2022. And I am really excited to see what we got cooking this year for content. Me and Ethan are going to be killing it for you every month. About 2 weeks before New Year's, or about a week before New Year's, I did call Ethan, and I tried, ladies and gentlemen, to get bi-weekly Punch Counterpunch shows. But Ethan was like, no, man, I'm too important, and I hate you. And then
my time is too valuable.
Yeah, so, but I did come to realize, Ethan, that this is my favorite style of podcasting. So while we don't have Punch Counterpunch for you every other week, we are going to be scaling back on some content within the production house. Other shows are going to kind of take a back seat, and a regular episode of the Wannabe Critic podcast will be resuming now. So, you'll get one Counterpunch per month and 4 episodes of the Wannabe Critic podcast per month. Unless we decide to take off, it'll be either 3 or 4, somewhere around there. But point is, whatever we decide to do, whether it's two shows, 3 shows, 4 shows, we want to just be consistent. And Elijah Middlesworth is going to be sitting opposite of me to do that week to week. So I'm pretty excited about that. And looking forward to recording our first episode. We actually technically did. We recorded Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 1, and that's what we'll be covering this week as well. Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 2, and that'll be coming out. I think we're gonna aim for Friday releases. So there's that. But someday, Ethan, we'll. Which Ethan, you and I have a project we're gonna be working on. A big game club project.
Yeah.
You want to kind of. This is kind of like, it's not Christmas, but it kind of feels like it. Like we get to talk about all the stuff we're working on this year.
Oh, is it because it's the new year and we're just talking about the year to come? And
it's just that I'm like, I feel reset, like I feel recharged. Like,
yeah,
I got
Is this the old school dive into LucasArts you're talking about?
That's right. Go for it.
Gabe came to me and said, "Look, I want to do this. I want to go back into the vault, the LucasArts vault, and look at the old space combat sims." And so he was like, "I'm going to start with X-Wing and we're going to go from there." And I'm like, "Whoa, big fella, let's pump the brakes a little bit, hit the rudder. Let's shift this over just a little bit. Let's not start with X-Wing because that's a little rough to get in." That was their first foray into that genre. And while I personally love X-Wing and cut my teeth on it, it's not aged well, and they haven't updated that at all. So we're going to start with TIE Fighter.
I tried to
me, that's TIE Fighter is that's kind of the one that started it all and really started the momentum with it. And so, I'm looking forward to talking that one over with you.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that, and then we're going to work our way up to Squadrons. I did buy myself my first flight stick. So I'm doing this for real because I want to play No Man's Sky. I want to play Elite Dangerous. I want to feel the experience. I'm sure how it was intended to be felt. So I picked up it's a PlayStation / PC one. I think it was like $60 or something, but it's normally $100. It's
is that a Logitech stick?
It might be. Hold
made
on.
for PlayStation.
Anyway. Thrustmaster T-Flight.
Oh, it's Thrust. Okay.
Yeah. HOTAS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You got the full HOTAS. So you got the throttle with your left hand and everything. Yeah. Nice. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So I wanna experience this. It'll be my first time, and I was trying to play the X-Wing game just with my mouse, and I was like, how I can't control. Why is this not working? I can't even fly this. What's happening?
Yeah.
So
so you bought the original X-Wing?
I bought them all. They were all on sale over the weekend. So I literally I will literally read you what I have. This is literally everything I bought, or this is now everything that I own Star Wars related. They had a crazy sale over the weekend, so I have my library right here. Okay, these are all my Star Wars games. Holy crap! All right, Battlefront 2 Classic, Battlefront Classic, Empire at War Gold Pack, Episode 1 Racer, Galactic Battleground Saga, Dark Forces, Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Republic 2, Star Wars Rebellion, Star Wars Republic Commando, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3D, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, Starfighter, The Force Unleashed, The Old Republic, TIE Fighter Special Edition, X-Wing Alliance, X-Wing Special Edition, and X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. So,
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. That was my first PC online multiplayer experience.
Really?
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to talk about that because
that was back in the day. The community was large enough and there was such a following with it. You could join either an Imperial or a Rebel clan. And I joined the TFA the TIE Fighter Alliance online. And man, we had, we'd get together and we'd practice together, and then we'd, go in and do dogfights against, other clans. And it was, oh man, that was late 90s, just getting your feet wet with multiplayer. And yeah, it was awesome. That's
really cool. I'm really excited to hear like those anecdotes and, kind of talk about our experiences and stuff with the games. And I mentioned Elijah Middlesworth being part of, the Wannabe Critic podcast. We're also going to be doing the Dark Forces games. Dark Forces all the way up to the Jedi Knight games. So we have a full swath of Star Wars content coming on Game Club.
Yeah. And if you want to dabble in a little bit of the Star Wars Rebellion, that was a personal favorite of mine as well, the strategy. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I bought it. I've been getting into RTSs, like, just because it feels, different. And, I've always kind of been interested in them, and, hearing you guys talk about it all the time too, like on your podcast, is something I've always wanted to try. So, I've been enjoying it a lot. And I always liked like tactic games and stuff like that, which really that's just real-time tactics. And, I'm enjoying that, playing that as well. But yeah, if we get through this TIE Fighter series and and we're going to also work our way up to Squadrons. So if we get through that series and we're hungry for more, we still have a couple other games we have to wrap up with, especially with the Arkham series. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunity for really cool Star Wars content to come out from people who love Star Wars and have finally found a middle ground on the subject, Ethan. But no, I'm excited.
It only took 12 years, but yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I'm really excited
Let's go.
I'm really excited to get my flight stick though, because that just
Now that will be it's the way it should be played, and it the way VR has affected certain games like Elite Dangerous, it makes you feel immersed in it. The HOTAS will do the same thing for you. You'll feel immersed in it.
So is that the type of thing like you keep it on the desk and do it, or does it like stay in one place?
It depends. I'm not exactly sure how yours will mount up. I just have a Logitech stick with the built-in throttle and everything, and it's a big base, and I just have it on the desk in front of me, and it stays put. I don't know how your HOTAS will mount.
Yeah,
up.
so it's like one piece. It's like you have the throttle like right there and the stick right next to it. So it's like this basically.
So it's probably just a big base. It'll just sit there on your desk, or if you position it off to the side or something, cool. Whatever's comfortable for you, and yeah, it'll work.
Awesome. I'm really excited. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic,
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited that you're excited. Of course, we have a big project coming out sometime this year for Keeping It Real. We're going to be doing not only the OG Star Trek movies, but the next generation Star Trek movies as well. So I'm excited about that as well. And then who knows, we might even get into the newer Star Trek movies and kind of talk about it. It would be awesome to do just
that
like
would be interesting if we get that far along. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could make it happen, because we kind of have side-by-side projects going on Keeping It Real. So the goal with Keeping It Real is to have the core guys record like twice a month, and then whatever other stuff kind of gets filled in the cracks around that time. So, the group that's the normal group will only record twice a month, and we'll go through a series. And then there'll probably be another group of people that will record a series, and we'll just kind of mix and match, as time goes on. And, the listeners will hopefully get to hear from different people at different times on different movies. So it's kind of my goal. Instead of sticking to like just one series and only inviting a certain amount of people, like have everyone kind of just doing their own thing, and then just kind of mix and match. Like 1 week you might get, I think we're going to do Men in Black as well. So like 1 week you might get Men in Black, then the next week you might have Star Trek, then the next week you might have something else that, a continuation from a series from a couple weeks ago. And, I'm just excited. There's a lot of content that's incoming this year, and it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels right. Like things are going really good over at Meta Jungle, super busy, and I just have a new outlook on my personal content, because it's what I do for work now. So it's just a different, you just kind of look at things differently because to me, it's like, even if I never got famous doing Wannabe stuff, it makes me happy knowing that I still have the drive and desire to do this and take it even farther, and like go to the next level. So it's always about improvement. And Ethan, I'm happy you're here. I'm really happy you're here.
Yeah.
And next year, ladies and gentlemen, 2023, bi-weekly punch counterpunches.
We'll see.
Yeah, probably not. We'll be halfway through. Like Ethan will be like, dude, we didn't even finish the Star Trek movies. Like, he'll be talking about how he's mad we didn't finish Star Trek and all this other stuff.
Yeah, quite frankly, I predict the end of civilization by the end of 2022. So
God, I hope so. I hope it happens. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, people they'll be watching wrestling and.
So coming to ham radio, the Wannabe Critic. We'll have to figure out how to get a radio transmitter.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, just like the scavenger and the traveler, but not a broadcast to the galaxy, ladies and gents.
So if you're listening to this as an old log and civilization has already collapsed and you stumbled across this file,
welcome to hell.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, Pit Boy. It came true.
Did you find the Twinkie factory, ladies and gentlemen? That is the key to everything.
Yep, that's
Find the Twinkies. Oh my God. All right. Well, we got a jam-packed show for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you've stuck around this long, you're the best. We appreciate it. Ethan, I think this is the time where we talk about. I mean, we've been talking about nonsense for the past 15 minutes, but we're supposed to catch up. Yeah, we're supposed to catch up. And this is Punch Counterpunch, so I can go as long as I freaking want it to. Do you not freaking stand me? All right.
No, I get you.
What have you been up to?
Well, I've been playing a lot of games, obviously, because we got projects. It just so happens to coincide with I really wanted to play these games too. So getting into it's so funny you say I want to do X-Wing, TIE Fighter, and then get it, take it up to Squadrons. Well, Squadrons was kind of a tough one for me to get into initially, and then I broke out the VR set a few weeks ago and started Squadrons brand new. Just went into it brand new with VR only, and holy cow, it changed my life. I mean, I literally spent 15 minutes just sitting in the cockpit of an X-Wing, just looking around, just like, I could touch the buttons, and everything was worn, and it was just incredible.
Did it make you sick?
So, yeah. No. I mean, you definitely get a sense of movement, and in dogfighting, it's, I gotta stretch a little bit because you're craning your neck, looking out your canopy and everything in dogfights and trying to keep track of where everything is. But it's so immersive the way you're able to slide into a dogfight, and your spatial acuity becomes, it becomes everything. You're now aware of the battlefield around you instead of it just being a screen directly in front of you, which is how all of us old school guys played X-Wing and TIE Fighter and all of those iterations. It was just what you could see right in front of you, and there was no concept of looking over your shoulder. Now you do that, and holy cow, when you look over your shoulder, the targeting computer is right there. It's another level, and it really does make you feel like you're in Star Wars. And
that's really cool.
I'm so thankful for that experience, and I can't wait to talk. We'll talk about it more. But anyway,
yeah. Go ahead.
The other thing that I've been doing is I had mentioned previous show getting back into minis, and that has continued. I've continued playing minis matches and have gotten a few pieces that were rare and that I had never had, and so I've been adding to the collection. But part and parcel to that is I'm trying to find a way to meld ship battle with ground battle, right? Okay. So minis covers that, the ground battle aspect. But there's the X-Wing game that I collected for a while, but it doesn't really encompass space battle the way I wanted it to. Well, lo and behold, a few years back, Fantasy Flight came out with their Armada game, and I looked at it and then quickly looked the other way because I didn't think the mechanics were there for it to be a decent game, what I was looking for. Well, I have since revisited it, and of course, now I have gone full bore into my Armada collection. So now I have several capital ships and several smaller fleet ships, and this is tabletop gaming. This is geek tabletop gaming at like 11. It's cranked to 11 for me.
That's pretty cool. I really like those those are dope minis.
Dude, and these Imperial ships are just frigging amazing. I've got a Victory Star Destroyer here. I've got an Interdictor Cruiser here. I've even got a little support light frigate from, the Rebel series and Squadrons, that shows up there. I've got quite a few ships and building my Rebel and my Imperial fleets, and eventually I'll move on and get the Republic and Separatist fleets as well. And
so you can have some Clone Wars going on.
Yeah. And the great thing is, and I'll grab that. Oh yeah, I had one other thing come up. So I haven't opened the package yet, but I've got the Chimera Star Destroyer,
very nice
Thrawn's ship. So there you go.
Very cool.
So.
Man, speaking of Thrawn, whenever I booted up TIE Fighter, that intro sequence, they talk about Thrawn, and he's there just in all his glory. And I'm like, it was just kind of surreal for me. It just kind of all came full circle. And I was like, whoa, this is, and it got me really excited, to like kind of play through the game. So I was like, is the story going to be like this? Because it kind of had that like old school Star Wars feeling to it.
He doesn't show up just at the beginning. So
that's awesome. I'm excited.
But yeah, so all that tabletop gaming and looking forward to I don't know how Omicron's going to go, and now we've got other variants on the horizon, and it seems like it's going to be a never-ending thing. At some point, I'm going to have a limited number of friends over for. I haven't been able to tabletop game in over 3 years. That is disgusting to me that it's been that long. So
you were talking about not being able to tabletop game for like 3 years, and ladies and gentlemen, this is something where Ethan used to call me like every other week and be like, hey, I'm getting some guys together to play Firefly. I wish I liked tabletop gaming back then, because you would call me all the time and be like, dude, come on, like I'm not.
It just wasn't your thing.
It wasn't.
No, and I get it. Yeah. It's not a young man's game necessarily. It's us old geezers, we get older and we want to just throw dice,
I get
it. But there's an appeal to it.
I mean, I get it now. Like,
it so long.
Get together with the people for story time. We're still recording, and same type
RPG,
of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, the RPG, same type of thing. Like, they like really like think hard about making a decision. I'm like, all right, you're gonna have to roll for it. And even if they roll bad, sometimes I'm kind of like, yeah, you got it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just fun. It's just a fun way to pass time that I'm sad I didn't take advantage of before, because that Firefly game was dope. The tabletop. So
still got it. Still got people asking, when are we going to roll it out again? I'm like,
Mikey,
when it's really safe, we'll do it again.
Mikey's always asking. He's like, dude, remember Firefly? That was so much fun. Like, yeah.
I found a picture from 2014 on my cloud. It's you and Mikey sitting at the table. We were about to start throwing down on some Firefly. Yep.
Good, simpler times, good times. That's really going to be 10 years ago in 2 years, just so you know.
I know.
That's crazy. It is frightening. It's very scary. Okay.
But anyway, as I finished up earlier while you were froze up there, video games a little bit, tabletopping, learning something new, and watching movies here and there. Watch Dune, great movie, no complaints, excellent movie. So
it's so good. It's so good.
Haven't watched Spider-Man yet,
oh
so don't spoiler me.
But I thought you knew the spoilers already.
I know some of the spoilers, yeah,
like all of them, right?
Yeah, I don't know that I know all of them. I know stuff that's like, yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay.
Sounds cool. I was told it's the best Marvel movie made since Endgame. And I don't think that's a hard thing to do.
Eternals was awesome, just saying.
Really?
It's amazing, actually.
Okay. I didn't hear great things about Eternals.
Yeah, that's why
we can have the discussion later.
That's why you don't trust the media. You don't trust the man, all right? Because me and my wife were like, and maybe it was one of those things like you walk into the theater and you're just kind of like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, it was date night, so it was like, whatever. But we both like loved it.
Low expectations.
Very, very
for the
low.
movie and for date night. Okay, I get it.
Hey, you can't walk into date night with low expectations when you go to the Alamo freaking Draft House. All right,
that's true.
Because there you're gonna drop some
know
coin.
What they're doing.
There you're gonna drop some coin. It's an experience, and
yep.
It was definitely awesome. But, yeah, no, Dune's awesome. That's cool though. That you've been doing a lot. That makes me happy.
I have been. I've been busy boy. Yep.
I've also been a busy boy. I've been playing some games. I already started 2022 off strong. I beat 2 games over the weekend. I beat Jedi Fallen Order.
Wow, good for you.
I did beat it. I beat it on easy.
Story mode?
Yeah. I beat it on easy. And I'm glad I did it because it would have taken about 3 times longer than it would have needed to.
Yes, it would have. I actually started a playthrough of Jedi Fallen Order in the last couple of weeks. And I did it on, is it night? Is the next level above the story mode? Yeah.
And it wasn't it wasn't so much harder, but I mean, like, the Dark Souls comparisons are, like, there for sure. It's real. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I still even died on easy, like, sometimes. Yeah. So I didn't die, but I got really, really close. But yeah, good game. I'm really excited to talk about on Game Club. Me and Caleb are doing that in a couple weeks. So if you finish it before then, you want to join, let me know.
I'd finished story mode previous, and then now I knew the story. I've gone through the game. Okay. I'm now going through it a second time and just kind of enjoying it. It's giving me those Uncharted vibes a little bit.
It gave me Uncharted. I'll say this. I'll give you a hint for my review. It gave me Uncharted 1 vibes.
Yeah, I can definitely see that
in a lot of ways, and especially in the technical aspects. I'm like, come on,
and not necessarily good. Yeah,
like
in a good way. Yep.
But So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a lot of stuff to talk about there. But I also beat a few weeks ago. I picked up Call of Duty Vanguard. It's kind of cool. I didn't realize this. You can turn all the mature content off in those games now, basically. So it basically is just like a glorified action game, and it kind of hit me. I was like, wow, this makes sense why people buy this every year, actually. Like, it was actually like an enjoyable experience.
Dude, don't get COD people on board here.
I know. I'm sorry. We need to get a bigger audience, Ethan. All right? We need people that will follow our opinions blindly.
Okay. That's a Pandora's box that you will not get shut again.
I know. I'm just kidding. But no, I'm about to wrap up some more games. Back in 2015, 16, I started this little thing, back in 2018, I started a little writing campaign, called the Has Been campaign, where I was going to beat all these old games and then write about them. Well, I started writing for, Bush League Gaming, and, that was a really awesome experience. I love those guys over there. And so this year, I'm dedicated to also taking on a new avenue of expression, something that I really, really love doing. I just haven't done in a long time just because I haven't felt secure in doing it. But I would like to go back to that. So, on my blog, there's going to be a lot of reviews. Dear Diary that it's become that was like a video series, essentially is going to be shifted into written form. So the content will still remain the same. Like, it might be, X and Y game review part 1, part 2, part 3. And the goal is to have maybe, only 2 or 3 parts written for each game. But I've kind of been, mapping out how I'm going to do that and which games I'm going to play and how I'm going to do it. And it's just been a lot of fun just kind of recentering and again, kind of going back to finding what I actually want to spend my time doing. So... but I've been playing a lot of games too, man. There's too many games. I'm focused. This is gonna be a backlog year for me. There's only a handful of games I'm gonna buy this year that are gonna be new, and I'm gonna try. My goal is to get 50 games beaten this year.
Ambitious.
That's a lot, I know, but it's better whenever you have it across, 4 ways to play. So. We have this. There's plenty of smaller Switch games I need to finish. There's exclusives on Switch I need to finish. There's first-party titles I want to finish on PlayStation. They're only 10 or 15 hours a piece. There's a lot of stuff that I want to play, and I'm just looking forward to a big year of getting my money's worth. That's just been sitting there for years. So,
you got 50 games worth almost in that LucasArts bundle.
Literally. Yeah, well, that's the thing is my goal is going to be 50 games outside of Game Club projects.
Yeah.
So
it's a tall order.
It's a lot of games. We'll see what happens. If I can get 25, 30 of them done in this year, I will be very happy. But the goal is 50. So, but anyways, lots going on. I'm excited about it. I've been busy, and I'm pumped. It's been half an hour, and we haven't even gotten to the meat of the show yet. So I think it's time to press on. What do you say?
Can I just talk about what I'm drinking right quick? I noticed you got your Busch Light.
I do. Well, I have my Busch Light, and then I had some rum, but I drank it.
Already, okay.
Well, I drank. Yeah, it was a while. I think I'm gonna have some more. Why is the rum gone?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why is the rum gone?
Go ahead.
No, I did for this week because I knew we were recording. I went out and bought something different for my bourbon stash, and so I've heard about it for a while, and I wanted to give it a shot. And the local liquor store had Heaven's Door. Have you had Heaven's Door yet?
I have not, but I've heard the name.
Okay. So that's the one that I forget the name of the distillery. It's in Tennessee somewhere. They have co-produced this whiskey, and it's three kinds of. They've got a 4-grain whiskey, they've got a rye, and they've got a bourbon. And they've co-developed it with Bob Dylan, right?
Chimmy.
So I didn't bring the bottle in with me. The bottle is beautiful. It's got a piece of artwork that Bob Dylan had come up with out of his metalworking shop that he has there in Tennessee. And so that was, kind of the inspiration for the label. It's well presented, looks good. It's a little pricey. It's $51 is what I paid for the bottle for the bourbon. It's good. It's a really good bourbon. It tastes very similar in notes to like an Eagle Rare or E.H. Taylor, right? So if you kind of have an idea of what that tastes like, the kind of the caramel smooth flavoring, that's what this has. The only drawback to this thing is if I'm paying $50 for a bottle of whiskey, I want a little bit more mellow burn. I don't want as strong a whiskey burn as what I'm getting out of this. So I will say that was the only drawback to Heaven's Door bourbon is that it's got a little bit more whiskey burn than what I expected for that price point.
Yeah, when that's I think $50. I mean, that's kind of that sweet spot of bourbon where it's like, yeah, that's kind of that like you can have a great whiskey at $50, or you can have an amazing whiskey at $50.
Yeah. And this is a good one.
Yeah, I'll have to try it.
The taste is excellent. If you don't like whiskey burn, there's cheaper bottles you can probably find that'll be as good tasting. Eagle Rare, for instance. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that one up because
Bourbon Bros
new for the show. There you
Bourbon
go.
Bros. I have my Busch Light and some water, and then I also have.
I have my water here as well. Yeah.
I also have. You had Bumbu?
Never heard of it.
It's actually really good. This is my first bottle. I keep it in the office and I just nurse it, and cry.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd thing. I went through that rum was, my 20s into my 30s. Rum was the thing, and I don't know. I hit about 35, and it's like I'm kind of done with rum.
It's really sweet.
It's been that way since. It is.
It's really sweet.
It's too sweet. Yeah, it's not what I'm looking for in a drink.
I don't want like a rum and coke. I got the day I turned 21, we had like stinking Tim took me out drinking. I told you this story. He just kept buying me drinks. It was the stupidest thing ever. And I didn't get sick, but rum and coke, it's like no. I don't. I'm scared of it. I'm legitimately afraid of it.
You very quickly moved on.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll drink this straight. It's really, really. This is like the sweetest rum I've ever had. But it's really, really good.
It's true. While I say I'm not a rum guy, a really good rum is still enjoyable. I still do love a good rum.
Well, it's like I just polished off the rum I had a little bit ago. I just polished off a bottle of Zacapa, and it's rum that is aged like 20 years.
Oh wow! Yeah.
It's a $50 bottle of rum, and it's incredible. It's really really good. So, but yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Bite-sized Bourbon Bros.
That's what we're kicking around with here.
Get Shrek'd. So now, obviously, we have focused. Get Shrek'd.
Okay. That's what I thought you said.
Get wrecked, but Shrek'd instead.
Right.
I mean, Shrek could put a hurting on you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like. Especially when he yells at you to get out of a swamp and, calls you a stubborn jackass. And
so for this show, are you Shrek and I'm Donkey? Is that what I'm getting here?
I'm always Shrek and you are always Donkey.
Okay.
Don't you ever forget it.
That went to a weird place.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking. No, we were heavily focusing. I'm clearly really good at top of the show, and you're really good at the news stuff. And really, that's why people come. So I get them warmed up. I get them going for like a really good opening band, and then we hit you with the counterpunch. You know, it's like the opening band you go see and you really like, and you never hear from them ever again because they didn't make it. That's me.
Rooney, 2002.
Or Hum.
Hum. That's
Yeah.
man. I still have their album.
They were a good band.
Their album. Yeah.
They were a good band.
Dashboard Confessional.
Oh yeah.
They disappeared quick.
They did. They only had like one record or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too sad.
Anyway.
All right, it's time to get into some news. Ethan, take it away.
Okay. What we got here? We got a smattering from here and there throughout the month of December. And so we'll start off with BBC.com article from 12/28. Amazon has updated its Alexa voice assistant after it challenged, air quotes here, a 10-year-old girl to touch a coin to the prongs of a half-inserted plug. So
that's right, young girl. Do it.
I wonder I want to know what the voice sounded like. Anyway, the suggestion came after the girl asked Alexa for a challenge to do. Alexa said, plug in a phone charger about halfway into a wall outlet, then touch a penny to the exposed prongs. Amazon said it fixed the error as soon as the company became aware of it. The penny challenge began showing up on TikTok and other social media sites about a year ago. So here again is AI just collecting things off the internet and then spouting it off to us and watching us kill ourselves. Or at least attempting to do so.
Alexa was like, whenever that little girl did it, Alexa was like, ha, ha, ha. Yes. Got you.
Yes.
Oh,
so this is what's going to happen, folks. AI is watching the internet, and they're figuring out by the dumb stuff that you do on the internet exactly how to kill the human race. So that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Thank goodness Amazon updated so that she doesn't keep giving that challenge out.
Thanks a lot, Bin Laden.
Thanks a lot, Bezos. And actually, right now we can say thank you, Jeff Bezos, for making sure that your minions.
Good job.
That.
Good job. That was good form. You rectified the mistake, unlike usual. So
yeah.
Okay, I got this next one. All right, so Betty White died.
Do you need a moment of silence?
Yeah. Bum, 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 thank you for being a friend. Bum, 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 travel around the road and back again.
You know, this is one of those ones that we kind of, we've been expecting it for a while, honestly.
I thought she was going to outlive me. Like.
It definitely felt like it. 99 years of age.
It's a lot.
And that's a long life in this world.
Did you see People magazine putting out like issues of the cover? Like they had already printed the cover, and literally like it was about Betty White turning 100.
I hadn't seen that.
So they had literally put it out, and she died. In the time span of them publishing it and putting it out, she had died. I bet they were pissed whenever they're like, "Dang it."
Yeah. Well, that's why you don't count your chickens before they've hatched. That's where that saying comes from.
Yeah, no one in the writers' room was like, "Hey, we're gonna do this issue on Betty White." No one stood up and went, "Wait."
Right. Yeah. What was your from a couple of shows back? That writers' room, it felt like they may have been doing bumps, and then
give me a pen.
Exactly. Come on, she's 99, and we're in a pandemic. Chances are pretty good.
Whoa.
You might not make 100.
Like 2 days, she had an article had been published 2 days before she died, and she was like, she's like, I'm so lucky to be in such good health. And she just, I mean, we're joking about it. Look, here's the thing. Whenever you don't quite know how to process something, like I don't know what happens I don't know what's going to happen when Dave Grohl dies. I'm going to be devastated. But like Betty White is like a national, like worldwide icon and treasure.
Yeah.
So whenever someone like that
icon.
dies,
Exactly.
It's just kind of like, how do you like process that? Well, I make jokes about it. So
yeah,
I am legitimately sad because I used to watch Golden Girls all the time.
Yeah. Really?
Swear to God. Blanche, dude.
You don't strike me as a Golden Girls person, but
bruh, I love
then
Golden
again,
Girls.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Much respect. I too have watched quite a few episodes of Golden Girls.
It's a good show.
It's a good show. It is a good show. Those girls were pretty raunchy, though.
They were.
surprised for late 80s, early 90s.
It taught me so much.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. It was just like knockoff Sex and the City, basically, is all it was. When you think about it. But it came before Sex and the City. So
true.
How do you knock something off before it? I mean, that's actually kind of tripping me out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
They were trailblazers.
Back to her. That was one that for the last couple of years, her name will start trending in Twitter. And like everyone else, when I see her name trending on Twitter, I'm thinking, oh, she must have passed. Mm-hmm. And that's been happening for a while now. And so when I saw her name once again trending on Twitter, it was like, is it? And then sure enough, it was. It was like, okay, well, you know what? It wasn't unexpected.
Yeah. She was old. She lived a long, long life,
99.
It's a long life.
She was born in 1921. Man, that is and it's hard to believe. I come from the 20th century. You come from the 20th century.
Yeah.
She did just, 80 years before us. And that's crazy to think about.
That is really weird to think about, actually.
But, so then, like, the next one up is Shatner. Shatner's 90, 91.
He does not look his age. How is that even possible? Is it because he's chubby? He's a chubby old guy?
A little bit. It masks a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of fills out the wrinkles.
Yeah.
He's a genius. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
That's what I want to do. I want to get chunky.
Everyone just become fat just in your old age.
There's just nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
I mean, you'll have exorbitantly high blood pressure, but
yeah, your cholesterol's probably high.
Other than that, yeah.
May not make 90, but in any case.
Still.
But yeah, him, Uhura. Oh my goodness. Nichelle Nichols. She's pushing high 80s. A lot of these standby stars that we have just taken for granted that have been around for ages now.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood. He's now retired and in his 90s. So yeah, probably won't be long. We'll be seeing that. It's kind of, we're drawing to an end of a generation that you and I grew up with without even realizing that they were just, standbys in our pop culture.
Yeah, it's sad. It is sad. I mean, all jokes aside, like, obviously, like, it's horrible, but it wasn't expected. She lived a long life, and, now we can remember. Here's the thing. I think it literally, Force Ghost Betty White would, like, literally be trolling regular Betty White. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine how funny she would be as a Force Ghost?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why didn't they put her in Star Wars? Holy crap! Betty White could have been. She could have been Yoda. God,
it would have made Last Jedi so much better.
Okay, let's move on. Your turn again. Can't even get into the next news article without taking a drink. Freaking lush.
Oh, this one comes to us from Gizmodo.com from an article on December 15th. After Dune, director Denis Villeneuve will rendezvous with Rama. The Arrival director will tackle the Arthur C. Clarke sci-fi story after finishing Dune. So we've got part 2 he's working on now, right?
Correct.
So we're probably looking at, a couple more years with that project? I'm going to
say 2025.
Longer? Okay.
Next one comes out. Because they haven't even started. They haven't started it yet.
Oh, it's not even hit principal film.
It's only in pre-production. They weren't sure if they were going to make enough money to make a part 2. Okay,
well that's fine. So, this one deserves his time and attention when he gets good and ready for it. So Rendezvous with Rama was a novel by Arthur C. Clarke. Arthur C. Clarke gave us 2001, 2010. He's world renowned, a sci-fi. A giant in sci-fi fiction and storytelling. And so Rendezvous with Rama fits right in with that. It's a lesser known story, but I read it years ago as a teenager and loved it. That same awe and fascination and sense of wonder that you get out of 2001, it's here with Rendezvous with Rama as well. And I really am looking forward to what he can do in bringing it to the silver screen. Because Arrival I thought was great, and of course Dune is fantastic, and so Rendezvous with Rama, I'm here for it. So whenever he gets around to it, take your time, do it right, and that's going to be another one of those thinking sci-fi stories that I really cherish. So
I just hope it's better than Arrival.
Yeah, you know what? Arrival's not a perfect movie. I'll grant you that. But I think Rendezvous with Rama is going to be a little bit more exciting. I mean, there's a little more, but it's kind of in that same vein with Arrival, in that you're on the journey with the characters, and you're watching the characters grow through this extraordinary circumstance that they find themselves in which a object comes into the solar system, and it's here for the first time, and this is the first experience that humans are having with something extraterrestrial. And as they explore this derelict ship and learn about the creatures that created it, it leads to other revelations. And I think it's going to be, if it's done right, it's going to be a good movie, good flick. So I'm looking forward to that one.
All right, I'll watch it. I like Dilla Villeneuve.
I think everyone should at this point. I think he's proved his mettle.
He gave us Dune. I mean, Dune's awesome.
There you go.
All right, next song.
Minecraft has now hit 1 trillion views on YouTube. This is a major milestone. I mean, YouTube has been around for how long now?
Since 2006, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So, this article, I didn't put the date down. It was around 12/9, I think, when it hit the 1 trillion mark. This is huge. 1 trillion views of Minecraft gameplay. And my son has contributed to that, both in watches and in content that he's posted on his YouTube channel. And you go and just type Minecraft into YouTube, and how many hits do you get? It's in the order of millions. And so 1 trillion views, that's quite the milestone. So I figured it would be worth bringing it up in this edition.
Yeah, Minecraft is freaking awesome. There's just no getting around it. Like, I was once one of the people that was like, no, like Minecraft's dumb, like whatever, until I built something I was actually really proud of. And
it just takes that one thing.
It was like
one thing.
Literally, it was made out of like five total materials.
Yeah.
Like, I literally have 5 materials in the entire thing. But I made it so big, and it was it was a freaking castle. It was awesome. I didn't refine anything. It was just raw materials that I just stacked up like Legos. And I just remember being like, wow, I really did that. This is awesome. And then it clicked for me. So all it takes, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all. Yeah. Just build one thing that you are proud of yourself for doing.
Yeah.
You do that once, and you're going to keep revisiting that game for apparently the rest of your life. Because I'm 44 years old. I started playing Minecraft when I was 32, 33, something like that. And there has not been more than maybe 6 months at a time where I haven't visited Minecraft. And here, once again, having a VR set, if you're playing Minecraft in VR, hey, now you can mine and look over your shoulder to see that creeper coming up behind you instead of having to stop and check. So,
wait, you can put it's actually augmented in your headset?
Dude, it's a full immersive VR experience.
Do you have to mine like this? With
no, I'm not sitting here shaking my fist at my screen.
But you're just playing. You're just playing the controller.
So yeah, I've got my controller. I hit my button and my character, but I can look behind me and see if anyone's coming out of the shadows, and that's really cool. Massive.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And you will check frequently. It's I have to pace myself on that, and I can't play too late, otherwise I have waking dreams. They can be intense. So yeah.
You wake up, you toss the covers off of you and your wife, creeper!
Exactly.
Mayday, mayday!
Hunker down, it's going to blow. Yeah, it's pretty intense. Minecraft, VR.
It really is. I mean, there's nothing trying to strip mine, and all of a sudden you hear a...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're yeah. My favorite saying is hey, how did you get in here? That's my favorite thing to say, because it's truly, and I find that one dark spot down in my mind. I'm like, oh, that's hell. Yeah. Awesome. I have a family of freaking Rumpelstiltskins in my like mine.
Baby zombies.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
ones I hate.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I hate killing them too, but you got to do it. You got to put them out of their misery.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
Bash them in the head, like clubbing baby seals.
All right, what's next?
All right, so I've got an article here from 1221, Polygon.com. This one I thought was interesting. Dark Horse Comics has been bought out by video game giant Embracer. Embracer is a holding company based in Sweden, and they have been going on a bit of a binge lately. They have bought up, back in November, they bought Asmodee Games, which they are the tabletop manufacturer that now currently owns my little Armada series. So these have been now bought by Embracer Group. So I brought that up. But Dark Horse Comics, for those of you that might not know, back in the early 2000s, up till shortly before the acquisition of Disney, LucasArts being bought up by Disney, Dark Horse Comics came up with a lot of Star Wars. And actually, that's something else that I've been up to. I meant to bring it in with me, and I didn't. I bought the Empire, At War with the Empire omnibus from Dark Horse Comics, revisiting some of the old Empire comics. Great stories of the rebellion and the Emperor and Darth Vader being double-crossed by shady Imperial officers. And there was just, that early 2000s was rife with, you can say what you will about the prequels, but there was a lot of good Star Wars storytelling happening in the expanded universe and in comic book form. And Dark Horse was kind of spearheaded all of that. And Dark Horse still has a big, they're doing Hellboy. They're doing a lot of Buffy. If you're a Buffy fan, they're doing that comic series.
They're about to start doing more Star Wars.
Are they?
I just put that down in the description down below, or in the thing down below.
Okay.
Yeah, they just acquired rights to start publishing Star Wars again.
So there you go. Dark Horse is big. So I'm the reason I bring this up, and I put the whole article in here. I'm not going to go through the details of it, but Dark Horse, Asmodee, table games. They've been buying a lot of TV and film production houses, smaller TV and film production houses, and Embracer is putting together an entertainment empire. And I did not know this. With Dark Horse getting Star Wars comics again, that means they've got rights, and who knows where that goes. Now, I'm not saying Disney's going to allow them, full reign. It's probably not going to happen, but depending on where this goes, watch this space, because Embracer is coming, and they are coming on strong as a source of entertainment, and they've already got a lot of good IPs. I mean, I'm looking down through here. Dark Horse at one time held The Mask, Time Cop, Ghost. What's some other stuff? They have licensed properties for Star Wars, Avatar, The Last Airbender, Stranger Things, The Witcher. It's Hellboy, Sin City. There's a lot here. So keep an eye on this. That, like I said, they've been going on a spending spree in the last few months and acquiring a lot of IP and a lot of properties and a lot of entertainment houses. That this could be something huge coming on the geek front.
It makes sense. And here's the thing. Look, if Disney lets them publish comics and they say that they're not canon, Disney law has lost my trust. I will just say that now.
Yeah.
If Dark Horse comics start coming out and they're awesome, like how the old ones, like, all the Star Wars stuff from the Dark Horse line is awesome.
I'm just really curious. I mean, where's your source on this? And don't say Kotaku.
Yeah, let me find it really fast for you. It's a legit site.
Because this is shocking to me, because with Disney holding Marvel and then giving Marvel Star Wars, because Marvel's done Star Wars for what? Since the acquisition, since 2012.
This is from IGN. Dark Horse Dark Horse to resume publishing Star Wars comics in 2022.
Okay.
Dark Horse announced it's regained the rights to publish new Star Wars comics and graphic novels. However, Marvel will continue to publish their own Star Wars comics and collections of existing material. Dark Horse appears to be replacing IDW Publishing as the home for all ages and continuity-free Star Wars stories.
Continuity-free. Okay.
See, that's dumb. I hate that.
Honestly, I don't know who if the brain trust from the early to mid 2000s at Dark Horse is still there or not to handle Star Wars, but I don't care if it's canon or not. They told great stories. And if they're being released to tell great stories in Star Wars again, I'm on board for it because I'm buying the omnibuses from, 20 years ago. Great
stories that had other IP or, other mediums based off of those things. It's really cool. So
so I was excited to hear about that.
So basically you're telling me I really can't trust anything Disney says anymore about anything.
No, pretty much. Yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah, let that one go.
You know what they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, strike 3.
Strike. There you go. Yep, that's exactly how that saying goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, what's next?
One last thing I had, some oddity from YouTube. We talked about Boba Fett a little bit. Well, you've talked about Boba Fett.
We're going to talk about Boba Fett after this, too.
Okay. Patton Oswalt predicts shot by shot Boba Fett's emergence from the Sarlacc pit.
I saw
on
this video.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, the first episode
and literally
of Parks and Rec.
the video that I have posted here, and you should probably put this in our show notes so people can just click and go see it, what we're talking about here. But it is literally side by side, shot for shot, Patton Oswalt in his filibuster scene, where he goes on 8 minutes of what he wants to see in the new Star Wars. he predicts shot for shot Boba Fett's emergence in the Book of Boba Fett, and I just thought that was amazing. To be able to see that, fulfilled.
I remember seeing it. I saw that on TikTok a few days ago, and it was pretty comical. It's like whenever the Simpsons predict everything, that happens. It's kind of funny.
Exactly. Which it's not hard to predict it. I mean, we've always known he got out of the Sarlacc somehow, and there's really only a few ways you can do that: crawl up the gullet, break out, and climb through the sand, one way or the other. But just the fact that he starts off with a scene outside the Sarlacc, his gloved hand comes out of the sand and claws his way. And I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Was Dave Filoni, did he just say, I want this to be canon now. The scene from Parks and Rec. This is how I want it to happen.
Yeah. Our Lord and Savior, Dave Filoni.
That's right. Yes. Hallowed be thy name.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. That was... I'll definitely put it in the show notes. You guys can check that out down below. So speaking of Book of Boba Fett, you watched the first episode.
Yes, very good.
It's so good. I was so wrong.
Haters.
I'm so hyped.
Haters.
I'm just so hyped.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair though, he wasn't really wearing the suit that much in the first episode. So
no. I really like the pacing of that first episode. We got to see, I think Ryan said it in your review that y'all had of that first chapter. The pacing was so good. We got the things that we wanted to see, and we got a little bit more. The one thing that kind of stood out to me in the whole episode was there was years ago, I can't remember if it was in a book I read or if it was just a discussion I had with my cousin who was a massive Star Wars nut at the time and knew everything about Boba Fett. But there was, I want to say there was this prevailing thought that Boba Fett is actually a klutz. And it kind of got borne out a little bit more in the prequels where you see Jango walking into Slave One and he bangs his head on the door, which is an homage to the Stormtrooper doing the same thing in episode 4. But that kind of played into that thing that Boba Fett's not as well coordinated. And I kind of got the sense in the fight scenes and whatnot that, there's a reason why this guy is known for disintegrations. Because maybe on the physical level, he's just not all that. And I feel like we're kind of, maybe that's the direction they go with it. And you know what? I'm cool with that.
Same.
Because if he can pull out the wrist rocket and disintegrate a dude to cover it, okay, the guy's got my respect.
Well, and that would basically make him like a true counterpart to Han Solo. Because Han Solo went throwing down in fisticuffs. Han Solo's playing and fighting dirty, so
yeah.
If that was the case, that would be the nice opposite of that. And it kind of reminds me of that scene in Indiana Jones where that guy's like doing the things with the sword, and then, Indy just pulls out the gun and just shoots him. Kind of similar, like the same energy, basically.
Exactly.
So I'm down. I've always thought Boba Fett is a chump. So if they make him, a chump, that's fine. But he can have his redeeming moments, just like Din Djarin did. Because how do you pronounce his name? Djarin? Din Djarin?
Yeah, I think it's Din Djarin.
Din Djarin gets sunned repeatedly, like in the freaking first season of The Mandalorian and the second season of The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but he earns his stripes. So, if that's what happens with Boba Fett, so be it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Jedi.
And I think it's great that we're seeing what we're seeing, and I know this was in novels. After the Yuuzhan Vong invasion in the expanded universe, there was a whole other set of novels that came post Jason Solo turning Sith. And I remember reading one particular novel that was all about Boba Fett. And it was Boba Fett as a 50-year-old man. And it was kind of sad on the one level because, it's not Boba Fett in his prime. But I feel like that's what we're getting here in the book of Boba Fett. And it's kind of cool to see a little bit of that EU kind of sneaking through. And Boba Fett is realizing that he's not a spring chicken anymore.
Yeah.
And he needs to set up his power base so that he can retain, that power base. And we're seeing him going through that process. And I think it's just an awesome angle to take a beloved character in. And it's realistic in a completely fantasy sci-fi story.
Yeah. I think it's going in really cool places, and I'm very interested to see what they do with his character. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, topic time. New topic. We're done with the news. All right. Fans really want Andrew Garfield to return as Sony's Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield's been getting a lot of hype lately. Obviously, he was in Tick, Tick, Boom. He's been in a bunch of stuff this year. People are calling this, the year of Andrew Garfield. And I don't know. I guess with the new Spider-Man movie,
he appeared in a recent Spider-Man movie, didn't he?
I don't think so.
No? Oh,
no,
okay.
I don't think he was in that.
I know he's constantly denying it, so yeah.
Yeah. Nonetheless, is there an opportunity where we see him return as Spider-Man to face Sony's Venom and Tom Hardy? And would that work? And do we want to see that?
I think at this point, it's only a matter of what kind of money do the studios want to spend? What kind of money does Sony want to spend on this? And with now Andrew Garfield crossing over a bit, it feels like they can do anything. And if Sony wants to spend the money, they can make it happen.
The way I see it is like, I had a soul-searching experience recently in that I used to really dislike Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man because he just felt like... I liked Spider-Man as a kid, and especially Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because he is awkward and weird, and I relate to that. And that's why Tobey's Spider-Man will always be goated. Andrew just always felt so, cool and collected. I mean, he's a good-looking guy, like... it just felt wrong to have him be like, Spider-Man. Like, I couldn't really relate to him. But now, after I'm married and like, I'm still awkward and weird, but I just don't care as much, and I don't really need to relate to anybody. I would love to see him return as Spider-Man.
Okay. So
and I sure as hell like him way better than I like Tom Holland, is something I realized.
Okay.
So
that I can get, and I could get behind that. is Andrew Garfield, because of a recent movie he may or may not have been a part of, is he redeemed in your eyes?
Yes.
And that's why you're saying give the man another chance.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just want to know where the source of this is coming from.
It hit me like, I don't know. Like, I've thought a lot about Spider-Man No Way Home and kind of my reaction to it, and I didn't like it as much as everyone else did, you know, in my friends group. And I'm like, yeah, it's good, but it's not. It is overrated. Like, it is. I'm sorry. But purely from a entertainment aspect, it makes me think about growing up going to the movies, is what this new Spider-Man movie does, which I think is awesome. But whenever I can step away from that, it's almost like if they would have done the sequel trilogy right for fans. It's kind of what it feels like to me. But even still, like, people aren't going to want to admit that Spider-Man No Way Home is really, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it is what Spider-Man 3 wishes it was. But still, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of me throwing my hands up saying, why is this happening? Like, why did you choose to show this over more of what we got 10 minutes ago that, like, was a banger and hit really hard? Like, why are you showing, I don't know. It just felt, there's a lot that just felt so packed about it. And I really liked it. I don't think it's anywhere close. Like, it's probably in my top 10 Marvel movies. Go ahead.
Well, this is completely off the cuff. This isn't even a counterpunch. This is just me just spitting into the microphone here. I have not watched the movie. I know he's in it. I know the movie. Spoiler alert, folks, if you haven't watched it yet. But
yeah, you had your time. Like, we're not wasting.
Yeah, we've been hitting around at it for a while. So here we go. It's just got real. So I have not seen the movie, but I know where they're going with it, and they have opened the multiverse. And this is an aspect of Marvel's comic book storytelling that I am not on board for. I'm not interested. I don't want to keep up with it. I don't even want to attempt to try to keep up with it. It's twisted. It's crazy. And I know they're going to make it entertaining, and I'm going to watch, but I'm not invested in it at all. So for that reason, when fans say they really want Andrew Garfield to return as Sony's Spider-Man, it makes sense to me because you want a simple story. You're not going to get that from Marvel's Spider-Man anymore. That ship has sailed. And while I'm not saying it's not going to be good, I'm not saying that at all. If you're a Tom Holland fan, continue to be a Tom Holland fan. But what I'm saying is you're not getting a simple Spider-Man story anymore. And from what little bit I know about Spider-Man, people love Peter Parker. People love Spider-Man. Keep it focused there. And you can't do that in the MCU anymore. So there's a place for Sony to have Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. So this sounds like a great idea, and it's probably one that I would more readily subscribe to watching than I would anything going forward in the MCU. Tom Holland's got 3 more movies coming. Big whoop. I'm not on board.
Yeah, I mean, literally, yeah. I mean, I agree. There's just not much more to say. I think it's an interesting play by Sony to allow this to happen, and then, you know, obviously the female Kevin Feige, I can't remember what her name is, Amy Pascal or something like that. For Sony, that was strategy, because now fans are like, oh, we want you guys, we want this back, and
he's back.
You know, a big spoiler.
He's back.
A big spoiler about Spider-Man No Way Home is like, nobody remembers who Peter Parker is. Like, no one cares about, Peter Parker does not have his ensemble, and now, like, he's probably going to be put with the rest of the other heroes that have been, kind of reassembling and stuff like that, and that's fine, but is it enough, and is it more interesting to watch these characters that I kind of care about, or is it more interesting to watch, Tom Hardy and Andrew Garfield, knock each other around for a couple hours? Like, is it going to be Where's that satisfaction going? In what direction are the scales going to tip? Because I have not kept up with the shows that have been coming out because I just don't really care that much. I want to watch them, but simply for the fact of I'm just going to keep up with my stories. My stories come on at 7 p.m. and I watch them every week, It's like there's very little care, and that shines through because clearly I have not watched it. I watched the first 4 episodes of Loki, cool, but I don't know.
I'm right there with you. I started to watch Hawkeye and got bored with it after the first episode.
Yeah,
it's just not compelling for me.
I think the Marvel fatigue is really setting in for me now too, because like I'm playing through Guardians of the Galaxy right now, the new Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because Drax is easily my favorite part about that game so far. And he's freaking hilarious. And the game's pretty and it's great so far, and I'm only a couple hours into it, but I find myself just comparing it to the Guardians that we know, and love. And in a way, I kind of don't like that, because now if I end up really liking these characters, now I have 2 sets of Guardians of the Galaxy to keep up with, know. And also, same thing with Spider-Man. I think a big reason and part of why I wasn't crazy about the new Spider-Man movie is because I just played 2 amazing Spider-Man stories on the PS5 a year ago. And it's really, really hard for me. I was Spider-Man. So I look at Tom Holland, I'm like, you're a chump. Like, that's not how I would have handled that,
You can't button mash like I can.
What the heck, But Tom Holland did a good job. Like, it's definitely it's probably the best movie not the best movie he's been in, but it's definitely his best foray as Spider-Man, I would say. I don't know.
It makes sense that Sony needs to look at this, and if there's really a movement by fans to welcome back one of their properties,
it'll just
to the
print
big
money.
Screen, yeah, don't say no to money.
Yeah, literally.
Make it happen.
Simple. And at this point, like with Sony, it's like, what do you have to lose? Literally, people are going to see Venom. Do you really think people aren't going to pay out the wazoo and go nuts to see
you got a
crossover?
You got a chance to step in front of DC on this.
Yeah, that's a really good segue for the next topic.
I try to be a good co-host, man.
You're good.
I try.
You're really good. You're way better than I ever was.
You get a little flighty at times, and it's a little hard. The balls. The old Gabe's bouncing along pretty good, but sometimes you serve them up, and I can spike that thing like nobody's business.
like Fokker and
Throw
Meet
down.
the Parents.
That's
what you do.
Look, not over aggressive, but sometimes.
She's all like her nose, is all broken and stuff. God,
it's been a while. That's a good callback. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
That's a good movie.
It's a good movie. It is.
So while we're on the topic of comic book heroes and their respective universes, this is something I read this morning and it has baffled me. I was literally speechless for the first time in my entire life. So DC.
Oh, hold on. First off, where's your source on this?
Let me find. I got it from Soups on TikTok.
Okay.
So Soups is like, he has millions of followers, and he was at the premiere of No Way Home because he's like a comic book influencer.
Just say internet and no questions asked.
Basically, yeah. But no, this is legit. Let me DC here. I'll find a source for you. That way I can appease your Nazi.
By the way,
tendencies.
While you're doing that, I'm going to vamp for you here for a second.
Yeah, please do.
Thanks for calling out the segue. I served up a great segue, and then by us talking about it, completely ruined the segue. We got to get together on our notes here, man.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm just vamping.
Okay, good.
I'm doing a terrible job at it.
I can't find. Look here. It's fact. All right, I promise you. It's happening.
It's on the internet, people.
It's on the internet. It's real. Soups reported on it. Soups is never wrong. All right. So, with this new Flash movie coming out, essentially it will be writing a new page in history for DC. Michael Keaton will be donning Batman once again. This has been confirmed for a long time. But in doing so, they will be erasing Batfleck and Henry Cavill from the universe and replacing them with their female counterparts. So Henry Cavill will be replaced by the Supergirl, not Supergirl, but I can't remember what her name is. I don't even know who she is. I just know she's a female Superman. It's not like Blondie.
Are you talking about the TV Supergirl?
Yes, the one from. Here, let me look up her name. Vamp some more. That was fun.
From CW?
No, not that one.
Not that one? Oh, okay. CBS? Was it the show that was on CBS? That was the big one that was on 4 or 5 years ago?
Supergirl.
In any case, this baffles me that they're erasing Batfleck in favor of Michael Keaton. Now, what's happening with who's the actor that's doing the Batman movie that's about to come out?
So Robert Pattinson's Batman is standalone. It has nothing to do with the expanded.
Nothing to do with it. Okay.
So Sasha Call is her name.
Okay.
And it's loading, but that's her name. It just says, Sasha Call has been cast as Supergirl in the Flash movie.
Wow.
Okay. But yeah, I mean,
we're working this out in real time, folks. So
yeah, we really are. I mean,
it's just coming to
us.
us.
I didn't expect you to call me on my source, Ethan. I mean, you're
dude. Come on, man. We're a pathetic show, at least as far as my contribution. But I always try to make sure I put my sources in there.
It's real. All right.
It's that one modicum of decency and civilized nature that I still cling to.
Civility. God,
I guess not on the internet.
But the new Trinity is going to be Wonder Woman, female Batman, female Batman, and Batgirl, Batwoman, and female Supergirl.
Okay.
And I guess Michael Keaton will be staying to kind of usher that new era in, because this is a Flashpoint movie.
Okay.
Why are they doing this? And this is not a gender issue by any means. Like, for me personally. It has nothing to do... Like, I'll watch it. That's fine. Like, I'll watch it. I'll have takes about it. But we were just starting to come around to Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck...
And it'd be rocky.
As these characters.
Yeah.
And with the Snyder Cut, it was just kind of like... Wow. This is what you had this whole time, and you... kept it from us.
Yeah.
And it's just
and
really...
now they're wiping that off the table completely.
It doesn't even exist. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
That's a bold move.
It's not going to work. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It's not going to... This makes no sense at all.
Is it because it's still too soon?
Yeah. Here. Okay, let me give you a rundown of DC's history and their track record. They see Avengers do wildly successful, and they say, we're DC. We have Superman and Batman. We don't need to give them their own movies first. So we're gonna make Batman versus Superman first. Get all these characters together in Batman versus Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, all these people in the same movie. The Flash, hint at all this stuff all at once. Then, whenever that doesn't work, now Marvel, they're done. They did their dirt, and they're like the new cool kids now, because they're having all of this like interesting stuff happen inside of their cinematic universe and television universe that is bleeding over from television shows to movies, and it's just all like working hand in hand. So now what does DC do? They're like, no, let's kill our idea of trying to keep stuff alive, with what we got already that we've been trying to develop for the past 8 years or whatever, how long it's been. And let's just wipe everything. Let's just erase everything and restart. It makes no sense. They're doing it completely backwards again. No one even knows who these people are. And I don't know, man. It just, and don't use the existing Batman, whatever you do, that everyone really wants to see and be a part of. Don't use him to be he would, I don't know. I guess the timing doesn't fit. It's just a mess. It is a giant mess, and makes no sense to me as to why they'd be doing this. Do you have any thoughts?
I will agree with you that if the motivation is coming from a place of coming out of the hashtag Me Too movement, if that's where the motivation is coming from, and considering what we've seen happen with Ghostbusters, big franchise, huge following, hasn't made the transition to an all-female cast smoothly, we'll put it that way. All right? So if that's the motivation where this is coming from, and this is executives at DC saying, yeah, we need an all-female cast because that's the direction the thing is going. It hasn't, I would agree with you, it hasn't reached critical mass yet, where the greater populace around pop culture, the geeks, the nerds, all of them, are going to come on board with this and say, yeah, this makes sense, and let's do more. Let's see it happen. Let's see where this goes. I don't think it's there.
It would be different. If
this is just them. Okay, hold on. Let me finish my point. If this is them saying we want to make a real change, and so we're just deciding now that we're going to take our lumps and we're going to make it happen, then Godspeed, because we'll see what happens here. And if they can make good stories, then maybe this triumvirate survives and great storytelling happens from that point forward. And if it happens, great. I would love to see DC on its feet doing great things in cinema, in television, whatever they decided they want to do.
Same.
And if it's an all-female cast, so great. That's great. That's great. But if this is a knee-jerk, if this is a reaction to perceived changes in culture, and that's the sole reason they're doing this, they're already too late. And it's already kind of doomed to maybe fall on its face.
Literally.
I see a lot of cars driving around this area with Wonder Woman stickers on it. So there's a lot of love for Gal Gadot's character. That's awesome. So why not buy more into that? Ride that train for a little bit longer, build up the well wishes and the good feelings, and then transition to what you're proposing here a little bit further down the line. Maybe with characters or actresses that are a little more well known. Maybe.
Yeah. With series that people actually care about. That's the thing.
Yeah. There
just
you go.
From a marketing standpoint, it just makes no sense. I'm like, who are going to be Batman and Batwoman and Supergirl?
Yeah.
And that's like the niche of the niche are going to know who these people are, and I have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
The actress that you mentioned there that's playing Supergirl came from The Young and the Restless. Who watches soap operas anymore?
I don't know. Like you were saying, it's not like I want them to fail. I don't. I love DC. I love DC Comics. And what I'm assuming is going to happen is, the Flashpoint is going to open up an opportunity inside of the multiverse. And this is going to be an Earth where, Earth whatever, where we have a female Superman, or a female Supergirl, and a female Bat person. And that makes sense because we've seen that happen in comics, in DC Comics all the time. Stuff changes dramatically based on what Earth you're on. And if that happens, okay, that's fine. I hope there's some kind of primer to get me to the point where I can actually care. Because right now it's just like, who are you? You know what I mean? Especially, and this is why it also doesn't make sense with the Batman aspect, is I'm already kind of skeptical about the new Batman movie. And you're going to throw another new person at me, too, in a couple years that I have to get used to as well. So, I don't know. And I understand in comics it's common all the time to have non-continuity things pop up in comics. Like, I love the White Knight series, DC Black Label. And that was never in a million years going to be the main face of DC because it shows Batman's crazy a little bit, And I don't know. I'm interested to see where it goes, and I just have a lot of questions that I want to have answered. So.
Side note, there have been almost as many actors playing Batman as there have been Elizabeth Taylor husbands. Yeah.
Wow. That was a obscure fact. That's Ethan's way of saying time to wrap this bad boy up. My guy.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is thank goodness Disney finally got their act together and are telling decent Star Wars stories for us to consume.
Yeah,
that's my point.
I agree. And I talked about this the other day on Book of Boba Fett. I've said, and this is now the hill I'm dying on. When someone says, "Yeah, but you liked the sequels, or you like the sequels," the answer will be, "Yeah, because it's all we had at the time. Like, it was new Star Wars, live action Star Wars, and I'll always appreciate it for that." But now I have admitted, like, yeah, it's not, like, in comparison. Now that we have things that are better, it's like, yeah, it's not great. Like, it's fine.
You know what? In the 1940s, people thought smoking was good for you. They thought it was a great pastime. Now we know, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, but there's still those people from the 40s that sneak a couple cigarettes every now and then. So, don't act like it doesn't happen. Aunt Gladys is in there toking up during Christmas ham.
Betty White at 95 was still
for sure. She was. She's like, "What's your secret?" She's like, "Just smoke a fat doob every day."
Okay.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this episode, we have covered so much ground in this episode. Ethan, can you believe it? Another episode of Punch Counterpunch.
It amazes me still after 7 months now. Yeah. We are still able to 6 months. We are still able to string these together.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I really am. I love this show.
It's like watching a toddler walk. Let me tell you.
Yeah. There's something that Patches O'Houlihan said about the quality of the dodgeball playing, and I would equate it to that is what it is. I'm not going to repeat it because it's a family-friendly show. But if you know, you know. So just wanted to...
Patches O'Houlihan, the patron saint of Punch Counterpunch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rip Torn died.
I know.
Yeah, kind of sad.
Several years ago. It's about 3 years ago.
Do you remember how he died in dodgeball? It's very abrupt.
He did die, didn't he?
They win like a big important match, and then they're in the casino, and then like a casino sign falls on him and kills him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I remember being devastated as a kid. I'm like, Patches? My Jake?
Oh, boy.
All right. Is it time for the
go watch it, folks?
Yeah, go watch it. Is it time for the after party, or are we wrapping?
It's time for the after party.
Okay.
Do we need to do some housekeeping here before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just a skosh, and then I'm gonna have to pour myself a drink and sit up because my butt hurts from sitting in the chair.
Sounds like you problem.
So, ladies and gentlemen, keep on the lookout. We got a lot of content coming out. The Halo Infinite review from me and Tristan Twitchell is coming out. Great game. That was a fun episode to record because we were reaching to talk about things we didn't like. And literally one of my biggest complaints about the game was the fact that there were a swath of weapons, half the weapons I don't like, because they took a lot of the core weapons out. But like, we still love the game, and it was just it was a really, really cool experience, and excited to put that one out for you to listen to. Of course, be on the lookout for the Wannabe Critic podcast. Keeping It Real comes out and is going to be back in motion. We're going to have some Guy and His Wife episodes releasing soon. Yeah, we got a lot of content coming out the next couple months. And, 2022 is starting, and it's going to be a drip feed from Wannabe Critic Productions this entire year. So we shouldn't have any periods of stagnant behavior. We should have stuff coming out pretty regular, I'm shooting for a 2019/2020 year of Wannabe Critic content where we had too much content, but not quite. I'm shooting for that because I know we won't. There's no way it can happen now. Just I don't have the time. So, but anyways, do you have anything you want to mention?
Yeah, follow me over on Twitter at Ethan Maestri. You can find me there. I started 2022 kind of on the ledge. I had axed Age of Geek early in 2021, and I was standing on the ledge looking at the abyss and about ready to throw Drive Back the Night, an Andromeda series podcast, off that ledge as well. And I had a kind of a little bit of a heart-to-heart text back and forth with Ryan, and he kind of helped me to see the need that we have a fan base out there, and it's not fair for us to end it too soon. So so we're in talks about how we're going to take the show forward. So, keep an eye on Drive Back the Night and Andromeda Series podcast. You can follow it over at Andromeda Series or on Podbean, and at Andromeda Pod on Twitter. Watch that space because, we're gonna make something happen over there.
Yeah,
soon.
I mean,
so
I'm just gonna tell you right now, like, I would kill for people to like treat anything we do here the same way, and you do owe it to your fans to keep it going.
Yeah,
I mean, with
with
the amount of time that you guys spend, like, for lack of a better word, playing grab ass about getting your episodes out and stuff. Your fans are just eagerly waiting for you. Like, every time they're like, Daddy, like, they're just like, they cannot wait for that next piece of content. And honestly, I shouldn't say I don't have that, because like every time I post a music reaction now, I get new people that's like, I'm getting that interaction, and it's like, oh my God, this is what I wanted. And it's a very special feeling, and it's a really cool just way to create, so don't he's a good puppy. Don't throw the puppy off the ledge. Come on.
He is. In fact, he's just texted me just now, so we'll see if it's anything about the show.
Oh.
No, he's sending me memes, so never mind.
Oh, nice.
So keep an eye on Ryan Mazzocco and myself, Ethan Maestri, over there on Drive Back the Night. We'll be throwing some new episodes your way at some point. So
there you have it, ladies and gents. Well, this officially closes out the main show. Me and Ethan, I'm going to go grab a drink, and then me and Ethan are going to podcast for I don't know how long. I mean, I don't know how much longer it's going to go. Yeah, I got to turn the strobes on. I got to find the remote. It's PERT. Why? Because I gotta. Like, it's the mask, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Carrey, a national treasure.
Yep.
I got too many remotes. Look at this freaking crap, dude. Don't ask.
Just pare that down.
Don't ask, I say. How do I do this?
Did I just lose you at the start of the after party? Ladies and gentlemen, the after party has been delayed because Gabe has terrible internet. I was wondering if there was going to be an after party.
Yeah, here we are. Right now, we're doing the after party.
Hey, I figured while we're talking, I can do my unboxing.
Oh, there you have it.
Of the Chimera, that for the after party. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
So we're gonna unbox a little bit while we enjoy our after party here.
While we play some smooth jazz. What is this meme you have sent me?
That's what Ryan sent me earlier.
Because that's the Enterprise, huh?
Yeah. There is no crossover.
Oh,
there is no Star Trek crossover.
That's really funny. I like how all the stormtroopers are just like cockeyed. They're like, he's not. Oh my God. So I found myself in a bit of a problem. I'm gonna vamp for you. I'm gonna tell an anecdote while you're unboxing your nonsense over there, or not nonsense. Your whatchamacallit over there.
My nonsense.
It's not nonsense. It's not nonsense.
Okay.
I was thinking of. I was trying to find something that I could show off so that I could be cool too. But I don't really have anything. That's okay.
Dude, it's a sweet album that's back there. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a sweet album.
2001 up there? Or have you swapped it out? Okay.
No, I swapped it out. That's actually my Songs of Supergiant record came in.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what that is.
Great. Dude, great interview, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I watched that on Friday night, and that was enjoyable to watch.
That makes me happy.
You get that hint of that's people, not Jacob necessarily, but you with that spark of creation. Jacob has it. It's in a different area. He's a podcaster. And you see that. That's what he's focused on.
He's really
creating
good at it.
Content. And he is exceptionally good at it.
I'm like,
far better than you and I.
Oh, yeah.
But,
it's not even close.
But you could see Darren and you connecting on that musician level where your questions were they were and I'm not saying there was anything wrong with Jacobs. He was spot on and played his role excellent. But you could tell the questions that you were asking were things that you had thought of from a musician standpoint. And you were asking someone to impart knowledge to you that meant something to you. Yeah. And and you could see it in his face. He was ready to respond in kind with on that same level. And I thought that was just a great interview to watch.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that means a lot. And it was one of those things where we didn't even know if that was going to work. Like, because we didn't even know if that was going to be an episode, because I literally had asked him, you know, like the week of me asking. Well, what had happened was we had filmed our review for Pyre. And literally that night, I asked Jacob, I was like, hey, do you want me to reach out to Darren and see if he wants to come on the show? I think he would dig, you know, kind of what we're doing with this project. And he was like, yeah, sure. So literally I messaged him that night. He got back to me the next day, and like literally within a week, we recorded that episode. That's how that happened. That wasn't planned at all. Like, it just kind of came together. And it was just kind of like, well, okay, I guess we're going to like get some freaking questions, you know? And like, Darren's just a genuinely, I've talked to him twice now, and just, you know, you get that, you can definitely, you could very easily see that, like, not corporate, but that professional side of things, like not wanting to kind of like geek out or like reveal too much information. It would be very easy to be kind of like not standoffish, but just like, you know, like, let's keep this to business type thing. And with professionalism, you know, and with him, it was just like, I feel like I could have asked him anything. Like I posted a Twitter video of, you know, because I had kept my stuff recording before we even let him in the breakout, you know, in the room. And we just started talking about whatever, you know. It was just like talking like one of your, you know, like one of your homies. And I like mentioned Chris. With the guy. Yeah, exactly. It was just a really, really cool experience, and way better than the first one we did. I was so nervous the first time I sat down with him, and you know, it honestly really helped me having Jacob there. And I feel like me and Jacob really like kind of bonded over that interview, because he and I have like
teamed very well on that.
Yeah, I mean, and he's legitimately, I can call him like a friend, you know. He has like become you know, it's like really like my first internet friend, I think. But it just feels like I've known the guy for a long time, you know. And
aww.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Bush and I'm going to tell you this right now. He and I have had, after, you know, because we did several shows together, like boom, boom, boom. We've had many long night discussions with several of like talking. It's like, hey man, like these are the subjects that I want to talk about. Would never record them in a million years, but I feel this way about boom, boom, boom. And we would just have it out and talk about it. And like, really, really cool. Really, really cool dude. And, you know, just really, I was happy that he was there to do that with me. And that will always be a very, very, very special project to me, because, and we're still doing it. We still have to record Hades. So, you know, there's that.
It was great. Fun
I
to
appreciate
watch.
that.
All right. So I have now unboxed the Chimera. This thing's
That's pretty cool.
Sweet.
That's really, really cool.
Look at. I don't know if you can see that on the
camera. I can see his.
It's got the Chimera.
It's
got the Chimera painted top and bottom.
That's really, really cool.
And that is just freaking awesome. That thing is massive too, compared to like the Rebel Cruiser that I've got. You know? Dude, I would love to get to. Here's the thing. This is so sweet, man.
I want to get together and like play and kind of see how that shakes out, because we had kind of like talked about doing like a crossover episode, you know, like with the miniatures and stuff like that, as well as story time. You know, off mic we had talked about this.
Yes.
And like, you know, you kind of helping me like orchestrate that and like learn how to do it, because I would love to have something that I could, you know, have a camera going where I could film what was happening with the ships and we could switch back and forth as stuff was happening. Because I just think it would be a really, really cool idea to do that. So whether it's with me or you, I definitely need you to teach me how to play and how to do it, so that I can formulate my own way with my roles in my game, you know, and like do the same thing, because I really think it would serve the project super well and be a ton of fun.
I really wish I had gotten into this game 5 years ago when it was new, because, you know, that would have been the time when we were getting together doing tabletop games and stuff. And, you know, we talked about it earlier, and it's something that I am now almost 2 years into pandemic. I'm really missing it, you know, because it had been almost a year from the last time that I'd had a Firefly session and had a group of guys over for game night, you know, and it's going on 3 years now. And it's like, I never considered myself a real social person. I'm not a social person. I have specific friends that I like to hang out with and spend FaceTime one-on-one with and enjoy a drink and discussion, you know, sit around a fire pit, ride a bike, whatever the case may be. I have those specific people in my life. I didn't think I missed a whole lot more than that. And this pandemic has really highlighted, because even, we can decide to get together, but, just the way things are in my household, if I invite a friend over to sit across the table from me and play a tabletop game, I got to ask you to wear a mask, because there are other people in the house and I have to think about their well-being too. And that's just the place that we're at right now. And so it says I have purposefully limited myself from those sorts of, gaming interactions. And, I miss it.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. I was talking more from the, aspect of just sometime in the future, I would like to get together and play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. I totally get that. But
it is. Yeah,
I want it to be sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I 100% agree. But until that time, there's plenty of projects to occupy ourselves with, and there's plenty of things to do, and there's just, there's a lot going on.
50 games is a lot, man.
It's going to happen.
50 games is a lot. Okay.
It's going to happen, and it's going to be a really true test of my creative buffer. It's the littlest things that mean the most to my life. Like, even if I'm playing my Switch with my headphones on in the same room as her, or I bring my own setup in, and I'm playing games, doing my own thing, and I'm like just making the effort to like be with her. She loves it. Like, even if we're not directly interacting, you know what I mean? It's just like the presence of being together and kind of doing our own thing. And sometimes we do watch shows together, and that's great. But like, she's into her shows, I'm into my games, but we're together like doing the things we love and spending time, and that really means the world to her. So for me, 2022, it's going to be a lot of me gaming in bed. Because if I ever start complaining about anything that seems like ridiculous, just remind me about the fact that I have a PlayStation 4 Pro, an Xbox Series S hooked into my bedroom right now with a swivel mount for my monitor, so I can literally stay in bed and play video games. Mm-hmm. And if I don't want to do that,
life's hard.
Yeah, if I don't want to do that, I can just come in and play the PS5 or the PC. But literally, I can game doing anywhere in my house with comfort. And, like, I don't know. It just seems like a really cool way to kind of test that and be like, that PS4 Pro never gets used. It'd be really interesting conversation to go back and forth. Like, I'm already noticing a big difference and a big jump in technology from the PS4 Pro and PS5. For the simple fact of, like, I'm playing Guardians of the Galaxy, and I died. And I had to wait to play my game.
For it to reload?
For it to reload.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait for games to reload on the PS5. There is that much of a jump.
I was shocked. What are you playing Fallen Jedi on?
I played it on PS5.
Okay.
But even still, it's the PS4 version, so I mean, the load times were atrocious.
Even on the 5?
So it's, like I said, it's the PS4 version. Mm-hmm. On the PS5, and it.
Wow. Okay. So I'm playing.
Well, it was on my external though, so that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
all right.
that's probably.
Yeah, because that was the big thing I noticed, because I played Jedi Fallen Order on my Xbox One a couple of years back when it came out, and even then it was a long load time between certain levels, and then now I'm noticing playing it on PC. That the load times are like, and I'm in, and I'm actually enjoying it a lot more because it's moving along a lot faster. It feels like, yeah.
The 50 games is gonna happen though, like, and even if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna make a giant dent in my backlog.
No, don't say that. Do or do
it's
not.
Happening.
There is no.
There is no try. It's happening. I already got 2 down, so really it's only 48 more games.
There you go. Yeah.
So. I mean, I think I beat something in the realm of like 15 or 20 games last year. But
this is sweet. I forgot that this was happening. So I got a couple of gauntlet fighters that come with the Chimera. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see.
Death Watch fighters.
Oh, that's really, really cool.
The little,
it came with it?
It comes with comes with it.
That's rad.
Yep. So that's awesome.
That's rad.
That's the one thing I love about this game is you've got these capital ships and you put these on your tabletop. They also have squadrons.
That's really
little
cool.
starfighters and little pieces that go with them. I've been painting those on the weekends just to kind of occupy myself a little bit. So I've got my TIE fighters painted up and everything. It's fun. It's genuinely fun. But this is the first tabletop game that I've played like that encompasses the big capital ships and the starfighter action, and it all feels like it belongs on a table together. So yeah.
That's really cool. And you can just kind of build out your own, your own
you just
Star
build
Wars
out your fleet the way you want.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, awesome. So how much time you got?
I'm good.
All right. Here's how many.
We're rolling up 10 minutes on 2 hours. So.
Well, if the listener's still hanging around, then more power to them. I'm enjoying myself.
We can outweight you.
It's my show. Yeah, we can. We've done it many a time, I'm sure. So, all right. Here's the thing. Here's how many games I beat last year.
Okay.
So you and I finished strong in 2020 with our Mass Effect reviews.
Yeah.
So that's when we started that's really, I think, when we started.
Lord, that's been a year and a half ago now.
Yeah, I think that's really whenever we started podcasting more regularly together, you know, and I think that was kind of around the time you probably kind of realized, like, yeah, there's definitely, there's something still there.
Yep.
So right at October, November, around there, we started rolling out Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. Then we did Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Marvel Spider-Man. This is all Game Club content. Little Nightmares 2, or Little Nightmares 1. Spider-Man Miles Morales, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, Uncharted 4. Uncharted Lost Legacy, Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Little Nightmares 2, Metroid Dread. So, also, there's still more. Also, Control, which hasn't come out yet. I also beat Pyre, Transistor, and Bastion. So, that's a lot of games. I mean, those were only for projects, and the other time I think I spent playing like multiplayer stuff. So, I'm kind of coming out of a multiplayer phase. I think I can do it. I think I can play 50 games.
Counterpunch, I bet against you.
All right, what's the bet?
You know me, I don't bet.
Okay, not monetary, but like what's the stakes? Nothing like no slap bets. I don't do that. Like
if you do your 50 by the end of the year, I will. I'll do PCP twice a week or twice a month.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first, and I'm clipping this. You heard it here first. And here's the stipulation. If I finish...
Seriously, you're not going to hold me to this.
If I finish before the year, we start as soon as the 50th game is finished.
You'll be done by like June.
I know.
You'll be like 1 year anniversary PCP. Guess what? Twice a month.
Yeah, literally. Actually, when was our first show? Was it June?
July. It was July.
So July, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on this space for July, because we'll probably have an announcement for that. And you have to swear, like you have to like pinky swear through the screen. If I do it, you have to hold up your end of the bargain. I'm
here. Let's do it.
All right.
I want to.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
So is there any constraints though? Like, can it be any platform?
I want to see a list. I want to see a list, and I want to see check marks next to them when you're completed. I don't care what system they're on. I want to see a list of the games, and when you're completed, and I want it verified by your lovely wife that yes, you spent your time in that game. It wasn't just a half-hearted, I've got an hour left, and I'm not. I know how it ends. I don't want that.
Has to be completed.
Has to be completed. Check mark next to it. Verified.
Can it
by
be
one?
Can it be
Emma
by
Fast.
one lovely Emma Fast?
Yes.
You don't realize what you've done now. You've literally given me a goal for this year, Ethan. And once I get, I'm like, I might, no cap, I might be retarded. Because I can focus on one thing, not retarded, but like, what do they call it? Autistic. Because I can focus on one thing.
The thing that you're forgetting is that,
thing.
as us old guys, as we come up through life, we figure out ways to dangle carrots in front of people so we get things that we actually want. So
why not just skip all this nonsense and just do the show twice a month?
Because I have commitment issues. I have commitment issues.
All right. Well, here's the deal. If it happens, you can't back out. And you can't be like, man, I just don't feel it anymore. Like you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to stick with it twice a month.
Okay.
And here's the thing.
But I will, one stipulation, you will have to figure out what we do in those weeks where there's like nothing to talk about.
Dude, it's really easy.
That's your
We
job.
literally just take existing ideas from other projects and transfer it to Punch Counterpunch.
Okay.
One new show, one movie review. Boom. But then we have a perfect platform for our Star Trek project.
Okay. I will accept that. I will accept that.
I accept that. All right. Challenge accepted. You're screwed.
We'll see.
If I could take the amount of time I've played from Destiny and
what I really need to
Apex,
happen now is for NFT markets to just explode right now and just keep you busy. That's what I need to happen. So, internet, if you're watching, please buy NFTs. Make Gabe's life miserable.
So, a brief NFT thing really fast. People are not happy about NFTs at all, dude.
No, they're not.
The gaming community has shocked me, legitimately. For a community that's as progressive and accepting and smart and like passionate.
Yeah, but you can take all of that goodwill and inject a little bit of cash flow into it, and suddenly the masses will turn against you.
Well, and here's the thing, though. To the credit of the community and the industry that's been haphazardly reporting on this, influencers all of a sudden are industry professionals or whatever, saying that NFTs are bad for the space when they don't know anything about NFTs, other than a handful of facts, but they don't know the minutia of the good that can be found within the space. And yeah, I personally agree with the take that what Ubisoft's doing. Yeah, that's dumb. Creating your own marketplace for your own NFTs whenever there's plenty of good existing marketplaces that could serve really well, utility-wise, and you have an opportunity to implement that already and you don't, that's dumb.
Bad form.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
But, I'll be interested to see what Square Enix does, because Square Enix is making that a big, focal point of their format. I mean, their model. Moving forward is going to be around NFTs, and I'll be interested to see if they stick with it. But I'm optimistic. I get sick of people with their bad takes because they aren't informed and they don't know what they're talking about. So,
yeah, you're pretty vocal on the internet about that. I see you on Twitter.
Everyone else is vocal about it.
That's
for
true.
once in my life, it's like I actually have credible knowledge on something because it's my freaking job. I've learned more about NFTs in the past 2 months than most people probably ever will in their entire lives, to be honest with you, and they'll still complain about it. But that's fine.
On the one hand, though, do you feel like you're in the position of you have to defend something, even though I'm sure you see the possible drawbacks, right?
Oh, yeah.
You see the possible drawbacks.
Yeah, and I'm not refuting that at all.
Okay.
It's whenever things are blanket statemented, and people are like, no, all NFTs are bad. It's like, no, dude.
Fair. Totally fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
Which is most of the takes on the internet that I argue with.
Okay. So I'm just curious if you can be objective if things do go south, if things go sideways and it becomes a
detriment.
Yeah, detrimental to society. Would at that point you have the ability to take a step back and say, you know what? Okay. Yep. It became apocalyptic.
Well, here's the thing. The guy who invented NFTs regrets making NFTs a thing.
Okay.
That's fact. That is factual.
Genie's
NFTs
out of the bottle, though. Yeah.
NFTs are more or less not great for the environment. But you know what else isn't great for the environment? Industry and driving your freaking car and literally contributing to the mass capitalism.
Everything that we're used to.
Everything else that you're doing. It's like, oh, it's bad for the environment. It's like, then stop driving, stop buying clothes, grow your own food, do all this stuff yourself.
Stop buying plastic tabletop games.
Stop buying stuff in general. Become a minimalist then, because you are just as much of a detriment to the the well-being of Mother Nature. And here's the thing: man gonna do what man gonna do. It gonna ruin the earth repeatedly, and it's just a part of our culture. It's a part of what mankind does. Mankind is the reason we legitimately cannot have nice things. For real, like, a nice earth to live on, aside from the handful of really nice places that you can find that cost however much money to go to, and that's another thing I really appreciate about NFTs is like, it brings things to life, real places that these people live in, people in Turkey and people in like all over the earth, and they're finding a way to express what they see each day and get it in front of people. And there's been so many things that I've personally seen and experienced that I would not have experienced had it not been for the NFT world. And there's just such a swath of talented creators out there that are doing really, really unique things. And there have been pushes to like try and find better alternatives for the environment, the environmental aspect. There are NFT projects that are literally dedicated to trying to preserve wildlife and try to preserve things that are happening, like to the environment. But if it became the blanket statement to where it's like, no, dude, like it's really hard to refute, like, if NFTs essentially become Nazi Germany or something, where it's like, dude, you can't really defend that, then yeah, I think it would be, Gabe's learned a lot. Gabe can admit when he's wrong, but the good thing is I usually make really good decisions, so I don't have to be wrong that often.
Yeah.
So there's that.
You mentioned Nazi Germany. It just reminded me of the line from Family Guy. If you would like to be in the Hitler studio audience, dial 1-800.
I was thinking about this the other day. Do you think like German people get kind of sick? Because I can speak freely. I'm of German descent. Like, I am. So I can say whatever I want, right? That's how that works. Do you think people from Germany like kind of get sick of hearing about all of that happened? And I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are playing the new Call of Duty every year and that are associating German people or German whatever to maybe be bad, I think. You ever think about that?
Yeah, I'm sure there's an element out there that probably would like to see it disappear and not be talked about.
Well, me, as someone who is of German descent, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Vivo asked the questions here. Oh, that's the KGB. Whoops.
That's the KGB. Yeah. Wrong.
Not the
show.
Not
wrong
the Gestapo.
quote.
Not the Gestapo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan. Is it what are you working on there? I see you twiddling your thumbs.
I'm putting together my ship. I need to find the last piece of my it's right here. Where I can mount the ship here to the base, and then it'll be complete, and that will probably be the after party, or at least close to it.
Yep.
So yeah,
another successful show.
There
Ethan.
it is. Another successful show, and
Boom.
Another successful game piece.
Dude,
ready to be put on the table.
I'm so ready to play those games.
Dude, this is pretty sweet.
Well,
yeah, I got them all sitting up here now. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
There you go. Tabletop games, people. Find your favorite. Go play it. Have some fun.
There you have it.
Connect with family. Connect with friends.
Mahalo. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Good times. Noodle salad. We appreciate you stopping by. It's a 2-hour show. More like an hour 40 because I stepped away for a few minutes or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's always fun time at Punch Counterpunch. Definitely go follow us at Wannabe Critic Productions on TikTok. A lot of my content that I'm going to be doing Let's Plays on and stuff. My Let's Plays I'm going to start just uploading to YouTube. And I ain't going to lie to you. They're pretty much going to be raw. It's just going to be a raw, like, minimal editing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that raw chunk of footage, I'm going to chop it up and make a bunch of TikToks out of it. Because that's where people are watching. And that's where you can find us as well. If you don't want to watch us on YouTube, you can find those bite-sized... I'm not going to... I never, ever toot my own horn. Those TikToks we make and those YouTube shorts we make, that is, like, good content. Like, if that popped up on my feed on TikTok, I would be, like, happy that I saw that. So... I guess what I'm trying to say, Punch Counterpunch listeners, thank you for listening, and you're welcome for giving you good content. No, I'm just kidding. Could you imagine if I was really like that? Obviously, we're
humble brag.
Obviously, what it boils down to is we love what we're doing. We want to see success, and to me, success at this point is enjoy whatever you're doing. Enjoy it, because life is. We've all had to kind of grow up a lot the past couple years, and it's been very eye-opening for me. The past couple years have taught me to learn what I actually like and who I in a lot of aspects who I actually am, and also kind of coming to peace with the person that I am. So, whatever you're doing, don't waste time doing something you're not liking. If you don't like your job, figure something else out, because I'm telling you right now, it's just not worth being unhappy. And
sage words.
No matter how old you are, I think everyone can agree with that. And if you're not happy at your job or whatever you're doing, you better find something else that makes you happy, as long as it doesn't hurt other people or yourself. So, there you have it.
Sage advice.
Thank you. I'm like Naruto, sage mode, but you wouldn't know that because you don't keep up with anime.
No, not really.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're really signing off. Ethan, it's always a pleasure, and say goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Don't you ever represent my people that way. Well, once again, thank you so much for showing up today. I really, really appreciate it. Again, if this is your first time here, consider subscribing. I know that's the thing that all the YouTubers do. Everyone's asking to sub. The fact of the matter is that it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and who knows, you might even see a video every now and then that you actually like or may be interested in. Not only that, I do a bunch of stuff, so make sure you check all the information down in the description down below. We got podcasts, we got Let's Plays, we got all kinds of stuff for all kinds of fandoms. So make sure you check that out. I would seriously appreciate it, and I would love to see you around here more. I am Gabriel Fast. I will always be the Wannabe Critic.